My parents emptied my trust fund to pay for all their mistakes, so I refuse to forgive them until they pay me back the inheritance they spent on themselves. I am the youngest of 3 siblings. My parents own a grocery store, passed down through my father's side for generations. My grandparents, on both my dad's and mom's sides, left me and my siblings each a college/trust fund of $100,000. Each of my sisters blew through their money and dropped out of college. Both became single mothers to my 3 nieces and returned to work for my parents' store. I was the only kid who didn't work for my parents' business, as I got a job as a landscaper for the summers and after school throughout my high school years and saved up about $20,000. I got accepted into college on a partial scholarship, and I was beyond thrilled because I knew I had a great opportunity to leave college debt-free and own my own home by the time I was 22. As my sisters did when they turned 18, I asked my parents to turn over access to the trust. I wanted to have the money under my control just like my sisters did. That's when my parents told me we would discuss this at dinner tonight. So, my whole family was there at the dinner, including my nieces. When it was time to talk about my trust, my dad and mom asked me if I would consider holding off on accessing the trust for 2 years as they had to use some of the money to cover some of the healthcare and living costs of their grandkids and also pay off a lawsuit that my sister Gloria received for a DUI. I asked how much they used, and my mom said there is currently $5,000 left in the account. So, they spent $95,000, and none of it went to me. My dad said, "We just need you to think about your family and understand that we need your help with this request." I asked if it was great that everyone benefited from this money besides the person it was intended for. Gloria and Lori got to go to college and travel the world with their money, while with my money I got to pay for all their mistakes. My last words to my family were that this was not a request as the decision had already been made, and I had moved out and left. I still went to college as I had a partial scholarship, and over those years, I used the money I had in my savings to start my own landscaping business, which employs 6 guys, and we are doing great. I never got a chance to spend any of the money my grandparents left for me as my parents never built back up the trust. 2 years ago, I found out from my lawyer when I sent in a formal request to access the trust that the current balance was $3,456.13, less than the $5,000 my parents told me about. My sisters and parents have tried to reconnect throughout the years, but I have always resented every gift, letter, and invitation they have sent me back to them. I am getting married next month, and my fiancé wants to meet my family and help me close this chapter in my life. My fiancé wants me to forgive and move on as I haven't spoken to them in years. Update: fiancé admitted to speaking with my family on Messenger, and they also spoke in person when she said they met each other in a restaurant. Fiancé said it was very emotional. I told my fiancé I was extremely disappointed she withheld this information from me for a month. Fiancé told me she felt guilty and afraid to tell me because she thought I might break up and cancel the wedding if I found out. She wanted to wait until after the wedding to tell me. However, my mom called her directly yesterday, begging her to help me reunite our family. She missed so much of my life and doesn't want to miss another milestone. Wedding. Fiancé knows she has violated my trust and gave me the most heart-melting sincere apology I have ever heard and asked for forgiveness. She even had her parents ask me to forgive her and not cancel the wedding. Her dad and mom told me they loved me and hoped I could move past this. Her dad loves me. He has a picture of me in his office. Just me and him. Lol. He introduced me as his son for the past 2 years. He cried and said he didn't want to lose me as a son. I forgave my fiancé, and my sisters came to my business with my nieces and desperately wanted to talk. Sisters deeply regret their part in the decisions made on their behalf and want to be a family again. They understand my position and anger but miss me and want me back in their lives. My nieces also asked why I don't come around anymore and whether I was mad at them. My sisters explained this has destroyed our parents' marriage as it has now come out that my mom apparently spent the majority of the money without my dad knowing. And then when he found out my mom wanted dad to say it was both of their decision because she believes if it came out that it was her that decided by herself and not my dad, I would never forgive her no matter what and would disown her because I always accused her of playing favorites. My mom pleaded with my dad to cover for her decision to empty my fund. Dad was furious but decided to say he and my mom decided to spend the money. Dad now resents our mom because he no longer has a relationship with his only son. He also hears from his friends how great of a relationship father-in-law and I have. My dad told my mother that she should fix this or he was done with her and told me the truth. I told my sisters and nieces that I loved them and did not hate them. However, they helped rob me of a very important gift that our grandparents gave each of us, and I missed out on life experiences that they got to experience and I did not. It is like they stole the last gift that our grandparents left for me. We all cried, and I accepted their apology, but I told them I did not know how to let go of my resentment towards them. I let them know our relationship will take time to rebuild. I asked them to set up a meeting with just dad and me and not my mom. I met with my dad alone. My dad was shocked that I requested the meeting. He looked defeated and asked to speak first. My dad told me he is and has been depressed for the last few years and feels like he truly failed me as my father. He knows he betrayed me, and as a father, he must take that to his grave that he is the reason his son hates him. He said he is extremely jealous of the relationship I have with my father-in-law, and he just started crying for about 3 minutes straight. I told him I knew mom decided to spend the money. I told him I understood why he didn't throw mom under the bus, but he deeply hurt me by covering for mom's decision this long. I told him I love him and said he no longer owes me anything. He is done owing mom's debt. We both cried and hugged for about 5 minutes. I invited him, my sisters, and my nieces, to dinner at my place that night without mom. I let my sisters and my dad know that if they came to dinner with my mom with them, this would be the last time we spoke. My mom found out about the reunion without her and wanted to speak. I refused her request and told her to bring a check for $100,000 if she wanted to talk to me. My wedding is on September 3rd, and I have invited everyone except my mom. My sisters want me to hear mom's side of the story, and my dad has said he is done covering for my mom's decision. My fiancé is happy and supports my decision 100%, even though I know she wants me to meet with my mother. She forgave herself, so she doesn't want to push Reddit. Should I meet with my mom before or after she hands me the check for $100,000?